Reportedly, Twitter's revenues dropped more than 80% from $661 million in the second quarter of 2022 to $114 million in the second quarter of 2024. This leads one to ask, what would happen if you scaled up the My Pillow guy by 3 orders of magnitude? Some of Twitter's problems can be traced back to firing most of the people who knew what was going on. It's awfully tempting to link an 80% drop in revenue to firing 80% of the people running Twitter, but it really just comes down to Elon. For the most part, Elon, by himself and at cross purposes with the person he hired to supposedly be the CEO at Twitter, is what, or who, rather, destroyed Twitter's revenue. What leads men, and it is men, to become delusional and self-destructive in this way? Self-destructive is the only way to describe somebody dragging $30 billion of their own money into the road and setting it on fire. Never mind the co-investors and lenders. While it is impossible to track the actual accessible wealth of someone like Elon Musk, based on the numbers that are public, destroying that much value could be the greater part of his readily available wealth. The rest is probably tied up in SpaceX. Minor follies like Neuralink and the Boring Company probably don't amount to much, though a sign of heightened financial stress would be the termination of one or the other of these smaller side projects. A quick list of signs to look for could be useful. First, and obviously, news of negotiations with Twitter's LBO financiers would be a sign that things are really going sideways. That can probably be contained to Twitter, though. The debt is owed by Twitter, not by Elon. And an unsuccessful Starship flight is another thing to watch out for. SpaceX will be okay in the short term, having landed contracts to deorbit the ISS and some other NASA missions. But if it looks like Starship will take another 5 years rather than 1 or 2 years at the most to mature into a usable rocket, it's an open question if SpaceX can sustain continued investment for that long. The big problem for Elon is that he can't get his money out of SpaceX, and SpaceX is about half his net worth. Tesla is the other half. He can, and he has, taken a lot of money out of Tesla. There's a confusing trail of share sales and margin loans that stretch back several years that make it extremely difficult to figure out Elon's day-to-day wealth and what part of that wealth remains accessible. I've seen a reasonably thorough estimate that concludes that as long as Tesla shares remain above $80, Elon can continue to collateralize his margin loans, albeit by basically pledging the rest of his Tesla shares. Is $80 Tesla plausible? It's quite a bit more than plausible. Tesla's price to earnings ratio, remains roughly 10 times that of Toyota. What are the prospects of their earnings going up by tenfold? It's a bit disorienting that even if the worst financial calamity should happen, Elon Musk will likely remain a multi-billionaire. He will probably look smarter for not having the dosh to go around and doing stupid things like buying Twitter. Then again, long after Mike Lindell should have and could have comfortably given up supporting Mango Mussolini and spent his remaining years on the golf course hobnobbing with like-minded conspiracy buffs, he kept going hard until his last dollar was gone. Given the brutal efficiency of Elon destroying value at Twitter, you can't rule it out.